Okay, looks like we're ready to roll. So, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Blu-rayDave back with another private stream, and this isn't going to be a serious video. It's not even going to go into the serious videos playlist. This is something I actually wanted to cover for months, and you guys know me. Like, I usually get inspired or motivated by everyday things, and whether they're in a positive or negative note, like I would want to talk about them. So yes, we are going to keep this topic positive, and I'm not going to call anybody about this. Okay, again, I want to speak generally about this, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys can relate this on a personal level, and I hope I can make you guys feel that way. Um, okay, so where do I even begin? Well, okay, movies. As humans, we're all going to be movie buffs, especially to our favorite franchises, right? You guys know me, I'm a movie buff. Um, I have a lot of friends who are movie buffs too, and they they get down talking about like their favorite movies that they're truly passionate about. Um, and of course, not everybody is going to like every movie they watch or agree on the same level, but we can still respect each other's opinions about movies, right? Um, and thank God I've grown out of that a lot, because if you guys know me, if I talked about my backstory a bit. For those of you who know me personally, you guys know me for a long time. Like, growing up, I really wanted to control people's interests. Like, oh, you gotta like what I like, because if you don't, you're known as a hater. And back when, like, I wanted everybody that I knew to be a Star Wars lover. Otherwise, if they didn't watch or like it, like um, you're considered to be a Star Wars hater. But I'm actually going by Balin's rule. Like, if you don't want, like, you're a nerd if you don't watch Star Wars. Yeah, we're flipping it. So, um, so yeah, that was my life growing up in my preteens and early teen years. But as I got to experience more like people's perspective on things, like like I have an understanding. Um, but when it comes to family, like of course me and my family, we're always gonna debate and argue on certain movies and all that. Like, I don't want to talk about just movies, like TV shows as well. But what is the one common thing that all of us humans want to experience when it comes to movies or TV? We want to be surprised. We don't want to be spoiled. Okay, like even growing up, because even as a little kid, little kids, they're not gonna care about spoilers. They're gonna be like, oh, what happened in this scene, or like what happened to this character? Like, oh my gosh, I remember. Um, I believe 2016 was my last year when I was like this. Like, of course, when it came to the Disney Star Wars movies, I always told people, like, don't give me spoilers, okay? But when it came to Marvel or DC, like, tell me what happened. And when Civil War came out, I was like, tell me what happened in Civil War. And like, this was back when I was in high school, right? One of my buddies told me that Cap shoved the shield in Tony's arc reactor. I'm like, whoa. And movie trailers are guilty for this, especially Disney when it comes to Marvel. Like, they love spoiling trailers. Like, when it came to the official trailer for Civil War, Spider-Man came at the end. Like, it was really nice to see him there, because we all had our theories and speculations, and boom, Spider-Man was over right there on our TV screens or on our mobile devices, right? And that was pretty cool. And some people, when it came to Ragnarok, they were complaining about, like the Hulk reveal, like the contest of champions, like. But for those of us who've been really in the MCU for a long time, we've heard the reports. We saw this coming. Like, when Disney announced their Phase 3 slate for Marvel, I already knew that Hulk was already going to be in Ragnarok, because it makes total sense, right? Um, so let's say I'm hanging out with a friend or I have date night, right? And we watch a movie or TV show, and um, of course, like everybody else, I want to keep them surprised, right? Sure, maybe you could tell them a little spoiler or two, but not everything because um, again, I don't want to call anybody here. Like again, I want to talk generally about this. Okay, I just want to give light to this. Um, like sure, we all have our questions, right? We're always gonna ask like, what's gonna happen next? Like, what happened? Like, and of course, everybody's gonna tell you, well, watch to find out. You have to watch to find out. And usually we call out things early on, and then usually the thing happens, and we're like, I called it. That's the fun experience though. Like I said, I'm happy I've grown out of that because obviously I'm not saying like, oh, I'm perfect or I'm better than anyone else. Like oh, I want to know about the spoilers or whatever. Like because no, that's not what I'm going for here. It's just I get it. You guys have your questions, right? Again, whether you're watching something with me, um, just know that I'm not going to answer every question. Okay, like it's like I'm trying to put this in a brighter perspective, okay? Like you gotta understand, right? I'm not upset, okay? But if there's somebody out there who gets really pissed off, like if they get annoyed by the questions, just don't hang around with that person, okay? Because with me, I'm always staying cool, calm, and collected, right? And I'd be happy to answer any question. And something I really like doing, like in the last year and recently, thank God, we should have gotten this done early on last year, but I started a Spider-Man marathon with my grandpa, right? Of course, we went from Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, and um, he had a few questions for sure, and I was happy to um, answer them for him for sure. Um, and again, whatever franchise you're truly passionate about, whether it involves with both movies and TV shows, like and you're really excited to show them to, like, let's say your future kids or your girlfriend or your best friend, whatever, like, all right, we're gonna start this marathon today. And again, they're gonna have a crap ton of questions. Like, um, I definitely want to show um some people the MCU, like definitely in their release orders for sure, because it'd be impossible kind of to do the timeline how Marvel is trying to present it, especially in the Disney Plus order. Um, what I try to do, which I should get back into this, I did this twice, guys, right? Back when I lived with my parents, and I'd done this as a teenager. I've done the phase one marathon, from Iron Man to the Avengers. And of course, that's going to be an all day thing. I've tried doing that with Star Wars so many times, but again, when you live with a family, they make it so difficult for you. So I advise you to just start early in the morning when you can. All right. And of course, if you're going to do sleepovers, and if your best friend is willing to do the marathon and like willing to like get up in the morning as you, like, all right, let's do this. Um, Probably when I have more free time on my hands when I work from home. Like, I mean, tell me in the comments, guys. I'm sure, especially for MCU fans, maybe you guys have done MCU marathons. Like, I'm still trying to do phase two. Like, phase three, we're going to have to do that in parts, like two parts, right? Like, maybe we could do like the first six, like Civil War to Black Panther, and then you got Avengers Infinity War to Spider Man Far From Home. Phase four could be easy too because there's 7 films and like we could get that done in one day. Um, and seriously, for anybody in general, don't be afraid to ask anybody questions, okay? And don't. I want to say this in a positive note, right? Like I don't want to hear anybody saying like, "Oh, am I annoying you?" Like with these questions. Like, no, No, I am happy to answer any question you have. Like, and again, there's some hardcore fans out there who have more knowledge than me when it comes to Star Wars or Marvel. Like, I'm pretty sure they can answer 100% of the questions because again, with my knowledge, because again, this crap takes time and like patience and like sometimes I don't always know everything 100% right away, and that's okay because we can leave it up to the professionals. Because if I were to become a professional Star Wars, MCU, and FNAF, etc. channel explaining like specific details and timelines, I would definitely put my time and effort every day to that stuff and be like, okay, guys, we're going to be covering this from this franchise or this and that. Because again, when I covered the FNAF timeline recently, I really wanted to challenge my brain so bad, like just what really happened in the canon timeline, and again, it might not be 100% accurate, and I have a feeling it's not, and that's okay. That is okay, all right? Again, if you're truly passionate about something, if you think you got this down, I mean, again, I'm not calling anybody out though, okay? It's just, again, we might not have everything 100% down pat all the time, but this is fun. This is what's fun for me. Like, Star Wars was really when it hit it off for me because as much as I was trying to get into like the blockbuster superhero films, believe me, guys, Star Wars was just the start. Star Wars helped me get a better perspective on character development, story, music, whatever. And then when I really got into the superhero genre, yes, we're talking Marvel and DC, like, and we can all agree that the MCU timeline is very, very, very complicated, right? With the DCU, I liked how I repeat myself all the time when I say this, but I like how they're straight to the point, right? Like they stick with one consistent storyline. If they want to talk about a backstory, they can still do that. Like with the Wonder Woman films, they can show her present day, but show her backstory and bring her back present day. And I know there's gonna be a few people out there gonna be saying like, oh, these are prequels. Like if these are prequels, and how come they show the main character in the main timeline? Um, because in the first Wonder Woman, of course, like we like reintroduce her, show her backstory, and then bring her back to present day, and then I believe she's going off to do her mission, what she did in Justice League, um, and Aquaman. You know, everybody knows that movie, right? Like, it's a sequel to Justice League. Like in the beginning, a little bit, like well later on, they were being vague about what happened in Justice League because I was getting worried. Like when the Snyder Cut almost came out, I was worried. Like, is Aquaman and Shazam not going to be canon? Um, but thank God they still are, and thank God the Snyder Cut is canon. Okay, that is the superior version to watch Justice League. Okay, not the Whedon cut. No, it's too family friendly for my taste. Again, with Joss Whedon coming from Avengers 1 and 2, like those movies are masterpieces. Like those are the only good things that came from Joss Whedon. Like not Buffy the Vampire, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or is it just Buffy the Vampire? I don't know. Either way, like, okay. Yeah, I just thought I would get some of that stuff off of my chest here. Those little side rants. Kitty Kitty. I'll have to check on him in a little bit. But yeah, let's just keep making the movie and TV experiences fun for us, all right? Like again, like I don't mind if I give a couple spoilers here and there, but I don't really want to spoil the movie for you or TV show because again, that ruins the experience for people, and sometimes people will end up being upset, like yeah, I don't want to piss anybody off. But again, if for somebody who doesn't really care for spoilers, but you need to really be overprotective, like listen, I understand you want to know everything else, right? But it's just for both of our sakes, let's just keep this as a surprise for you, okay? And again, I'm sure any parent who wants to show their favorite franchises to their kids one day. Like they're, and again, kids are gonna have a crap ton of questions. Um, like the parents would be very happy to answer those questions for them. And believe me, guys, the movies that my parents have shown me growing up, no matter what it was, I had questions and they would always answer them. And sometimes, like, I do this still, but like sometimes my dad, he does this, like, he points out some stuff and like he knows some things. And I do that too to point things out, especially like when it comes to Easter eggs, like in our favorite franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, DC, FNAF, whatever. That's the really fun stuff. And I don't know, it's just yeah, I would hate to ruin somebody's day if I kept spoiling things for them. I feel the same way too if somebody um well, I'm sure still some people in my life like in the future they'll spoil things for me like, "Wait, I just told you not to spoil this." Cuz again, when it came to the new Star Wars movies, I was very heavy into like don't spoil those movies for me. And it's funny how I this still happens to this day, and of course, people always over exaggerate it too. I say it too, just like to make it funny. Like, huh, I'm sure everyone at this point by now, and their grandma has seen it. Like, I mean, who knows if any grandma will be interested in your stuff? You know, if they're interested, then that's that's up to them. Oh man. My grandma was definitely into Star Wars for sure. Um, and like I said, I wish that the franchise would have been introduced to me at an early age. Like maybe my uncle or my dad could have introduced that franchise to me because I was a savage. I was a little rebel as a 5 year old. Like I was interested in the stuff that my dad was watching. Like, sure, I still enjoyed my kid friendly stuff and like cartoons, but like what my dad was watching on TV, like give me more, give me more. So I guess I probably would have handled Star Wars at an early age too, because most of the films were PG, right? And again, I probably would have seen Revenge of the Sith. Like, I I probably would have liked the fact like Anakin was burning. Like, oh yes, Anakin burning. Like, and remember, guys, and if you also know this little piece of history of mine, my very first PG-13 movie ever, and this was when I was like age 3 or 4. It was the very first Spider-Man movie. Yeah, I feel like 3 is a pretty good age to show your kids PG-13 movies. Like, I like hearing stories about that, like parents introducing kids PG-13 movies at that age. Um, Hopefully not every PG-13 movie though, because oh man, there are a lot of suggestive stuff, especially in some of the PG-13 movies I've seen. Like again, start with the superhero genre. Oh man, good times. Oh, there goes my cat. Um, So yeah, I guess I'm gonna wrap it up here. Man, I did not expect this stream to go longer. Like I was hoping I could make this shorter, but like I guess I got my points out. So what can we take away from this stream, guys? Well, like I said, just have fun with your first movie TV going experiences. And like again, if you have your questions, we'd be very happy to answer them for you. But at the same time, we can't answer everything. It's either due to spoilers or we're not 100% accurate all the time. But again, that's okay. That's the best part of our franchises is that we don't know everything, and that's okay. And we're still learning. For some people, they can learn just like that, like the first time, like yeah. I hope he's playing with his toys. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you hadn't already. Please turn the post notification bell and share my content if you hadn't already. And what other topics you guys want me to talk about? Like, again, I'd be very open to talk about certain topics. But if there's some certain topics that might be dodgy, I might not be able to talk about them on here because, like I said, Blu-ray 2 is more about serious videos. Like, so if you want to go subscribe to there. Go ahead. But I appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been giving me recently. I am eternally grateful for sure. Again, you guys are the real ones. There's no doubt in my mind. All right. Again, I'm going to sign off now. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for that, and may the Lord be with you guys. Always love you guys. Peace out, guys. And just like what AJ Marco said, oh my gosh, I had a brain fart. You guys rock. Don't forget it. There's that. I'm sorry I had that brain fart. And also, be united, not divided. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. All right, I'm going to end this now. Good night, guys.